But whenever I would sit down to try to come up with a piano solo, and that's different from accompanying people because you have to do everything. You have to have the melody, you have to have the accompaniment, you need to throw in counter melodies. It all needs to flow together. And for some reason, it just never came to me, no matter what I tried. I tried that, my friends, for over 15 years. And finally, I just relegated myself to the fact that I was never going to come up with an arrangement of the Lord's Prayer. And I forgot about it. All of that changed on October the 20th, 2013. That was the night that my dear mother met the arms of Jesus Christ. Years before that, she had written in a letter what she wanted done at her funeral. And she sealed it. She says, don't open this till I pass away. Well, I got a phone call. It was a Sunday night from my sister. And she says, James, Mom wants you to play the Lord's Prayer at her funeral. And I kind of got in a panic. And so I got off the phone with her and I said, well, at least I'll try to come up with something. So I went to the piano and I pulled out different versions of it and different keys. And I tried for over an hour, my friends. Absolutely nothing came. And I was so discouraged, upset, in turmoil. I just put all the music away, turned off the lights, and I went upstairs and I went to bed. But sleep was not to be had that night. Have you ever heard that still small voice? That gentle prodding that God gives you? It was about 12:30 in the morning. And I cried out to God. I said, God, out loud, I said, God, I need you. I need a miracle from you. I need your help. For 20 years, I've never come up with an arrangement of the Lord's Prayer. And God, I want to honor my mother's wishes. And I want to honor and worship and glorify your name. I said, God, please work a miracle in my life. And I laid there and I shed tears and I cried out to God. And then I continued to lay there. Again, it was about 12:30 in the morning, and I felt a gentle prodding. James, but it was very distinct. It was, James, go back to the piano. Try one more time. Of course, the first thought in my mind was, why should I? You know, it hasn't worked. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was in turmoil. But you know something? Thank the Lord. I listened. I obeyed. I got up. I went downstairs. All the lights were off. All the music was gone. There's a window right by my piano. And I opened the blinds, and there, my friends, was the most beautiful moon I had ever seen in my life. The moonlight shone beautifully on the keys. And as I sat there, I thought of the different keys that the Lord's Prayer was in. And I had tried it in B flat and in C and various keys. But all of a sudden, a thought came to me, this little phrase in the key of D flat. Very simple, but very beautiful. And after I played that, the next part just came to me. When I got to the next section, it just came to me as well. And the next section, I knew exactly what to play. And the next section, I knew exactly where to go and what to play. And my friends, when I got to the big crescendo, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever, I knew exactly what to play for the first time in my life. And when I finished, I was in shock. It was like a surreal moment. I don't think I was out of body. I think I was still in it. But I said, wow. Thank you, God. Where did that come from? Because that was truly miraculous. I'd never had anything like that happen to me, and I've never had anything remotely close to that happen after. That truly was a miracle from God. My friends, God's still in the miracle working business. I was studying the book of Timothy, 1 Timothy, and it talks about that God would do things beyond our expectations. But it needs to be for his honor and his glory. And that's what it was. So I sat there and I said, wow, can I play it again? And I did, from start to finish, note for note. And then I played it again, and again, and again, and again. I bet I played it 100 times until I grew so tired. I knew I needed some sleep. I walked out of the piano room, in the kitchen. I looked at the clock. And it was a little after 6 a.m. I'd played that song through the entire night. But I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about you. And I want to issue you a challenge this morning. The book of James talks about demonstrating our faith through our works. Right now, some of you are facing something that seems impossible to you. You may be facing an obstacle or whatever it is, and it may seem absolutely impossible to overcome, just like I did. Again, God's in the miracle working business, but you must demonstrate your faith by your works. Think of it this way. If when God gave me that gentle prodding, if I had just stayed in bed and said, there's no use, God, it's not going to happen, I've tried for 20 plus years, this would have never happened. But because I got up, I took that first step of faith, God rewarded that. And he's going to do the same thing for you. Whatever it is you're facing, my friends, this morning, it isn't impossible. When you don't feel smart enough, God is. When you don't feel strong enough, he is. So whatever it is you're facing this morning, my challenge to you, take that first step. You have to do that. God's not going to do it for you. He didn't come up and drag me out of my bed and drag me down the stairs. I had to do that because it was a display of my faith. And once you do that, once you take that first step toward that impossible situation, God will reward you. He will guide you through it. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory